So in this lesson, we'll try to understand how we can create Azure account, and we'll navigate through the Azure portal. In the last lesson, we understood about the architectural components of Azure, like regions, availability zones, then subscriptions, resource groups, resources. Okay. So let's understand what all required in order to create an account. So as we discussed in the last session, account is an identification of an organization or an individual in the Azure environment. So under one Azure account, we can consume resources across the regions. So we don't need multiple accounts. So we can have one account across the globe and can have multiple subscriptions, and we can create multiple resources and consume across the data centers or across the regions. So in order to create an account, we need an email account. So we can use either a personal email ID, or we can use an organization email ID, which is not used already to establish the account. The first and foremost thing, Microsoft is going to validate email ID, and it collects all the information which is required once the email ID is verified. Then we would need a valid credit card details. Sometimes it accepts the debit cards, but a few times it doesn't accept the debit cards. And it requires a valid credit card, and this credit card should not be associated with any other Azure account. So if we have already used the credit card to set up another Azure account, then it doesn't activate your account. So we should use only the credit card which is not used already. And a valid mobile number. A mobile number is required. So we need a valid email number, a mobile number, so that we might receive an OTP from Azure, and which we should basically update it. So once we have all these things, then we can go ahead and basically set up the Azure account. So in order to set up the Azure account, go to the portal https://azure.microsoft.com. So I'm just logging into I'm just navigating the azure.microsoft.com. Now, when we go here, we see something called as a free account. So even though we create a free account, it still needs the valid email ID and a valid credit card and a valid mobile number, so that it validates all these things once you have that. So what does it means by a free account? So there are two things in a free account. So by default, when you set up an account for the first time, so you get a 30 days valid, or an INR of a 13th or say 12,000 plus change worth of resources consumption. So you have an account which is being created with a 30 days valid of subscription. It creates a subscription with a 30 days valid or a worth of 12,000 rupees. So whichever comes early, then it automatically going to deactivate your subscription. Your account will be active, but we cannot create any resources into the Azure. So till 12,000, you can create any resource. So you can create a database, you can create a platform as services, you can create the infrastructure as a services and everything. And one more thing is then you have 1 year free of 25 services. So what does it mean by it? Means there are certain services, not all the services, with the limited configurations. You can use Azure for a period of 1 year of time. Okay, so it means that you don't need to pay, even though you specify the credit card during the setup. If you are using the free 1 year free services, so Microsoft is not going to charge you for those services. Okay, as long as they fall under the free service section. So by default, you get a 30 days valid and 12,000 rupees worth. You can basically use it. And if you don't want to use that, so once 30 days is done or 12,000 worth is done, you can upgrade the subscription. We'll see that actually. Okay. So first, let's go to the portal and we can see try Azure for free. So I'm saying called try Azure for free. Now, so it's saying start free, pay as you go on model. Pay as you go on model it means that you are going to pay for the Microsoft from the day one. That means it's going to charge you. So you'll not get the free. So I'm saying start free. Now it's asking you pick an account. So I'm saying use another account. So no account. I'm saying venkat@acutelearn.in. Next. It's saying you couldn't find an account with a username, try another. Because I don't have an account with this email ID. So I'm saying call doesn't get a new Microsoft account or create a one. So I'm create a one. Looks like you don't have an account with us. So we'll create a one for using venkat@acutelearn.in. It's going to create a Microsoft account. Now set the password. It is asking you the asset and personal details. So it's first validating your email ID, whether the email ID which you entered is verified. It is sending you a code. So let me go to my email ID and enter the code which I received on the email ID. Now it is basically to avoid the robots. It is giving you some puzzle. So the next step, it is asking us set personal details. So I'm just giving my name. And email ID and the phone number. So I'm saying text me. So it is basically, as I said, you need a valid mobile number, valid email ID. So for a email verification, it has sent me a code and the email. For mobile verification, it is saying that verify your mobile ID. I'm just saying text me. It is going to send an SMS OTP. So once you verify your mobile number, you can specify your organization details or your personal details. And as we entered India as a country, it is asking you PAN card ID. Or some it's not mandatory. So I'm just saying that, okay, some address and everything I say Hyderabad. and a postal code and accept to the agreements. So next, so once you enter your personal details and validate the email ID and mobile number, the next step, which will be verify your credit card. Now we can see a screen where it is asking, please provide a credit card or a debit card. So we'll make a temporary authorization on this card. And you won't be charged unless you move to a pay-as-you-go pricing. So even though we are entering the credit card, so Microsoft is not going to charge us until we convert the subscription into pay-as-you-go model, or we buy a new subscription. So it gives you a 12,000 rupees worth of and 30 days validity. So whichever comes first, and is going to charge, basically is going to deduct 2 rupees from your credit card to validate your card. And after that, it is going to basically return back that 2 rupees. Okay. So after entering the credit cards details, you can click on sign up. So it goes to the basically payment page and enter your basically payment code. You can verify your credit card. Once the verification of the card is completed, then it is going to activate the account based on their validations. So I'm saying sign up. So we can see your account is all set up. Please finish feedback to continue. So now my account is set up, done. So we can see you're ready to start with Azure. Go to Azure portal. Now, in order to set up the account in Azure, you go with the portal called as azure.microsoft.com. And next time onwards, we don't need to go to this name or an FKDN name, or I can say portal. So we can use called as an https://portal.azure.com. So now, so this is my portal.azure.com homepage. So let me sign out and sign back in again. type portal.azure.com. So select your account, email ID, which you use to set up your account. Now we can see a message, hi Venkat, see what you more can get from an Azure free account. You can basically browse, view remaining credit, and browse free services. What free services include in your free account for a period of so as part of free trial, as of now, we have not consumed anything. So it's saying what is the consumption. And you see that services for free for 12 months with the Azure free account. As I said, the 1 year free account. So you can get a virtual machine, which is 70 of B1S or B28S, Linux virtual machine, managed disk, which is of something like that, and blob storage up to 5 GB capacity. Like so many things are there. Maybe you, before you consuming it, you can check whether they fall under the free account or not. And if they fall under the free account, you can use it. If not, so if you're under the 30 days, then they'll be charged accordingly. Else you'll be, if you're in a pay-as-you-go model, you'll be charged of it. So before you start consuming or during the process of learning it, so it's always better that, okay, you use the 30 days free account and happily you can practice on all the services provided by Microsoft as part of infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. So once we are able to log in, then in the top left, we can see something called as in 3 lines where a menu item. So when you click on that, you would see called as in create a resource, home, dashboard, all services, and favorite services, which you're going to use it on a regular basis. You can add them into your favorite. And when you go to the all services, so it's going to display the list of all the services which are being available and the categories. So left side, you can see analytics, compute, containers, and all these kind of things. Then all which we can basically help us. Okay. Then we have a search bar. So if you want to search a specific service or resource, then you can basically call this and do that, and it basically gets here. And you can specifically go directly to the specific service, which is available here. And at the right side, so the right side, we can see the icon and where we can see your email ID and go to the My Microsoft account in future if you want to change your personal information like your password and many other things like in your first name, last name, or any other personal information and profile information. So under this one, you can go to the, okay. account, and you can basically set up your these things. Okay. So let me go back to the portal. And this is a feedback icon where you send and you get and help. And these are the settings icon, which you can have some default filters later we'll see as we go on. And appearance and startup views, how you want your screen to be looked. Okay, you want to be fly out or a docked. Okay, when I mean by docked means always it'll be fixed when I apply it. So always the left side menu will be open always. So until I manually close it. But if I select and fly out, so we can see that it is basically closed. And when I click on that, the menu will come up. So always it will be like this. A theme, normal, like what color you want it. You can see blue, light, dark, and accordingly the screen will get changed. And you can see called as a dark, and it is basically, so whatever the screen types which you like it, basically you can see that. High contrast, the none, white. Okay. Sometimes people might have some visibility, or yes, they can choose that. Okay. So startup views, whenever you log into this one, so you want to display the home page or a dashboard, you can choose that. And you can have your language and region which you want to refer, and your information, which is here. Okay. So, and you can set up that and sign out notifications, enable directly level idle timeout. So if this, then if you've been using this account and you've been sign out after a specific of time you want to sign out, then you can enable it. So you can say that after 4 hours of time, automatically you want to sign out, then you can sign out. Sign me out when inactive. So if you're not doing anything, then it is going to idle. Let's say after 1 hour of time, if I'm not using the portal, then it will signs me out after this time. Okay. And enable a pop-up notifications. So it'll automatically going to enable a pop-up notifications for me whenever there is any kind of a notification. So you can basically make your changes. Let me put my default. So whenever there is some kind of a notifications here, you can see a bell icon. So whenever you perform any kind of a task and Azure, creating a virtual machine or creating a storage account or anything, the progress of that and the status of that activity will be displayed here. So anything which you can see here, and you can basically get the notifications. Okay. These are basically directories. And as we have only one, later as we go on, you'll be able to see them. And this is a shell, cloud shell. So we can interact with the Azure using the command line interface, either using a bash or a PowerShell. Okay. So we can interact with the Azure either using a bash shell or a PowerShell. So later we will talk about this one. So you can basically use this features, so basic features, okay, to customize your display and set your personal information and so sign out. Okay. So that's how you can basically navigate to the Azure portal and see the services and other things. Okay. So on the left side, go to the subscription. Let's type for a subscription. You see called as a subscriptions. Now the subscription name we can see called as a free trial. Okay. And the subscription ID and account admin. My role is an account admin. And you see called as an unauthorized, basically as it is if a free account for a period of 30 days of time, it is not displaying you the cost and other details. So it default created and a subscription with a name called as a free trial, and you can do that. Now, in order to have your pay-as-you-go model, and if you want to continue this after 30 days of time or 12,000 cross, then you get an option to upgrade it. Then you will be able to upgrade this, or you can create your own subscription. Let's see. I'm saying add a subscription. So now we can see here, build in the cloud with Azure free account, free upgrade account, click here to upgrade. The existing account will get upgraded over here. And pay as you go with Azure plus free services. So free account, click here to upgrade that free account. Or students build in cloud with Azure free account. Okay, so starts with $100 credit card or basically credit. Other services are always free of it. So I'm not going to that. Once this is done, so I'll show you from another account how you can buy a subscription. Let me sign out from here. So I'm logging into an Azure portal with a different account, as you can see here. So when I go to the subscriptions at the left side and add subscription. So as I see, pay as you go with Azure plus free services. So you can select this one. So agree to your terms and conditions and the mobile number which you want to do that. This is asking for your payment information. As I already added a card, I say call this and use the same card. And your personal details. And as I said in the last lesson, it is going to ask you the technical support and plan. So getting started with Azure Developer Standard Professional Direct. And I'm saying called no technical support required for me as of now. Submit it. Like this, once you have an account created and post the 30 days, this thing, you can add up your subscriptions. Now I'll be able to see multiple subscriptions. Now I see 2 subscriptions. Pay-as-you-go model. I can rename this name, whatever I want to have it. I can click on rename and I can give it called as a development or something, whatever a relevant name which is required for it. And save it. Okay. And you can have your own these things and you can. So like this, you can create subscriptions. You can add more subscriptions onto your Azure account. This is how you can create an Azure account and add subscriptions and navigate through the Azure portal of it.